Hi, my name is Sally Bernard, an artist, author, and spiritual experiencer. Welcome to Call Me Zena, a true story into the spiritual realms. Join me as I sit and discuss the journey of self-discovery, and with the help of my spirit guides, it's time to trust your intuition. Sit with me and call in live, 888-994-4995, Studio A. And now onto the show. Hi, good afternoon, everybody. I was very welcome back to the studio since I wasn't here last week. Okay, thank you guys. Well, and Steve, thank you for being here as my guest, as Dawn and Freddie is too. So they have a lot of questions for me. And also, please, my audience, call in. We do wait for your phone calls, and we need more people to come to call in, and I will answer questions. If you get my book, you can then ask me questions about my book. On with the show. Please, I need to be warmed up a little bit.
What is it we're talking about? Conspiracy theories?
Yeah.
And anything else? I just want to ask Sally
one
question because you shared something with me.
Okay.
That's something that happened to you in the wee hours of the morning.
Oh my God, you're bringing that up. Okay.
I am. And,
okay, I know what you're talking about.
You were having a particular conversation with nobody.
This was absolutely strange. Dawn, you might be interested in this. I don't know if Freddie will look at me like I'm gone crazy. I was, you know that in-between sleep, you're half awake and half asleep, and I was suddenly aware that I was talking, but I wasn't just like, oh, or whatever. I was actually having a long conversation, but I was not quite awake. So then I said to myself, I better wake myself up, like I'm talking to somebody. Woke up, realized I'd been talking, went back to sleep, and the same thing happened. I carried on the conversation. Unfortunately, I don't remember what the conversation was about, but it went on for about, I would say, a long time. I'd probably know more than 10 minutes, but I don't know who I was talking about. So,
Was she talking to you?
no, there was no one in the room except me and whoever.
Was it English?
I don't know.
Were you
What
hearing
language
the
was
Oh, it
she
was
speaking?
English because I said I have to go back to sleep because I don't want this. I remember saying part of it. I was having a long communication with somebody and there was no one in my room, as far as I know. There must have been, I guess. And then when I was going back to sleep, I said, well, I'll stop talking now because I'm going back to sleep. I remember saying that. And then I started up again.
Were you having a dream?
I had a dream 3 weeks ago,
Oh, I thought you were
and
going
it
to
was
say
very
something.
specific about EI. And in my
Yes.
dream, I had this whole conversation with people
I better look that way,
that
but I
it's
am
not
listening.
AI, that it's EI. And the reason I would remember it is because it was the EU. Like I was
Yeah.
actually putting in my brain mnemonics, so I remember my dream. And I asked you, I remember, and I asked Dana, and I asked Wendy, all the woos and all of those. Sure you don't mean AI? I said, I know it's not AI, it's EI. So last week I'm looking, and it was about international travel, and you would need to get it as an international passport. And I woke up the next morning saying, every passport's an international passport, thinking I'm just
Yeah.
like a little woo.
Yeah.
Last week it has come out, allegedly, that you now need something extra if you are flying to Europe to attach to your passport in the initials, starts with an E, it's like EAI something. And I went, oh my gosh, this is exactly what I dreamt. And it's coming out the end of 26, 27, and there's going to be lines, and you need to get, it's not a visa. It's for anyone who doesn't live in Europe to go to Europe. It's not the American way, it's going into Europe, just like my dream was.
Absolutely fascinating.
What do you think about that?
I-
He's going
I
to think
believe,
I'm nuts.
No, because if you're nuts, I'm definitely nuts too. So, no.
That
When,
isn't.
when will
That
that,
didn't
when will
deserve
that
an-
be effective?
It said last
What,
quarter of
me
26.
going nuts?
Really?
Going to Europe.
Okay.
Sally promised me when I'm all better.
Okay,
I
well,
get
that's
to
not.
go to Paris.
Okay.
Well, you better go before they EI
Before
you.
they get the EI thing. Okay. So I don't really know offhand. I know you had mentioned that to me. You had a premonition. Let's wait and see. It's going
What
to
a
be around.
specific dream that was.
Yes, because you were in my world and also your world, and actually Freddie's world, and Steve's getting to my world a little bit. Okay, we go off planet. So I also have had, and I write it in my book, where I was shown AI way before AI. I mean, I'm going back 20-something years. I actually documented what I saw. I think it's in my book. So you had a premonition, and there will be. I'm feeling it's like it's an international. It's a passport, but not the way that we see passports. It's just going to be called a passport, and it's like a visa you're going to have. And I'm getting goosebumps because they are telling me a little bit about it. And in order to travel into another country, it's like when they used to stamp the passports, and it's going to have it's not on the thing is a stamp. It's not going to be on the passport. So you have to have this to go abroad. That's what I'm feeling.
You have to go abroad, but yet no one talked about it.
And because you had a premonition.
And I feel like my peeps told me. It wasn't like a dream, like I'm sitting in the studio. It like came from another source.
Yes, absolutely.
This whole conversation.
They had a conversation with you just like they did with the other night. I just happened to wake up in the middle of that conversation because it probably happened I know I should look this way, numerous times.
And when I saw this, I went, oh my gosh.
Dawn, I think
and
it's
I sent
going
it
to
to
be
you, and I sent it to you, and I sent it to everybody.
Did they give it time? I think it's nearer the end of the year, but
Yeah.
I think you may know something or it'll be written a little bit about nearer September, October.
That's
it's
what
not
they're
going to come, because it's not, I haven't read anything about it, but it's not going to come effective until the 1st of January. That's what I'm
That's
feeling.
what they're saying.
After further review, after you sent me that, what I found out, was that what's happening is a lot of people in this country are leaving to Europe. And it's very easily in this country to get false documentation. And the Europe Alliance wants to know who's coming into Europe. Italy is a good example. Do you know you can get a house if you have Italian heritage, like I do, and you can get it very cheaply and live in Italy. As long as you're a resident there for 5 years, they give it to you almost hand and foot because they need people. They lost a lot of men during COVID. So they don't have any way of bookkeeping people.
Yeah.
And the passports, there are people that have 20 passports under different names.
I think this is going to be specific because they
This is a
needed to do
different-
something
yes,
like
this
that.
is, you have
I
to
don't
go
know
through
anything
all of this
Right.
stuff. Remember when they first came out with the star on your driver's license?
Yeah, yeah.
That's because
This
they
is a
wanted to
similar
keep
thing.
tabs on that. Now they're saying that's not good enough. Even a passport, they're saying now is not good enough. So they're coming out with this thing that
So isn't it
That I
good?
had a dream
you
about.
had
I'm
a
just
dream
going to
about.
say, isn't it good that we can tell them the story before it even comes out?
Isn't it great that I had
Yeah,
this dream and it was
yeah.
so
Yeah,
specific?
yeah.
Look
I
where I
didn't
started.
know that. much.
See?
But I think
I
there will
blame
be-
Steve.
Okay, so that's good. Maybe you were talking to me the other night and I didn't realize. We were
I couldn't
discussing
believe it
that.
when I'm
Yeah.
scrolling over
Yeah.
last week thinking, this is it. You ever get so excited about something and nobody knows because only you have the dream, and everyone you tell the dream to, they think you're just a little,
Well,
come
not
on.
you were in safe hands telling it to me. I don't know. I believe 100% that happened and it will be happening.
there's so
All
many
right.
conspiracies. I think that's what we're going to be touching
Oh, yeah,
on.
please do. I
Gloria, is that
love
what we're looking for? I
conspiracy
mean,
questions.
That could be a conspiracy in itself. Was it a message? Was she talking to you and sending you that message? Who knows?
So many things.
So I'm happy to answer any conspiracy theory questions.
Well, the first one I got was,
I have to
there are tons of materials, and yes, Russ, I opened everything you sent me, that I've been reading and seeing about alien spacecraft that landed.
Okay.
I believe it was in the 50s and 60s. Is that correct?
I think it was the end of the or the middle 40s, the first one.
Well, Roswell was what, 46, 36?
I think it had to be in the 40s. I think.
Somewhere
That's
around
what they tell me. Yeah.
And what they want to,
Yeah.
one of the first things of conspiracy is why isn't that material being
Shown.
shown?
Okay, because it's if they show it, they're going to say it was a conspiracy theory, which people are dubious about and not believing it. They didn't come out with it. Now they will be coming out with this, and more people will believe it and understand it because it was secret. They didn't want us to know anything about this. So the people behind this were not, there were people that didn't, let's say there was a whole group of people that didn't want us to know, especially then, because it's just that way. That's the way the world is.
So do we say conspiracy or truth?
No, it's I 100% truthful in my world. Yes, I have to say my world because not everybody agrees with me, and I completely understand that. I think they definitely knew in the 40s, but it's taken. But today there is so much more of people seeing these things because they have the phone as a camera. In those days, you'd have to go find a camera and you know, aim it directly at whatever you're seeing. It's so much more accessible today. So many, many more things are coming out today because the proof is in the well, it's not always in the picture either because of AI, but there are people, you know, that are doing
But
it
think
without
about what
AI.
are we proving? You know, the kids told me last week that Cleopatra was not Egyptian.
I had not heard that. Really?
I had not
So
heard
what
that.
was she?
I think she was like a Philistine or from.
Well, I do believe that, I mean, anybody of notoriety, I believe, in history is, I mean, this sounds like a conspiracy theory too, but a lot of the people have the DNA from people that were not
Phoenicians,
here. Yeah, so they have that DNA, but they're here. That's the best way that I can put it. So they have come here, but the people with the DNA are usually, as I would say, and I don't know too much about Cleopatra, they've made a mark in this world, either good or bad. There is good, there is bad. And more is coming out today. And when we listened to the gentleman today that was sitting here, I found his topic extremely interesting. But I was probably looking at the only way I can explain it from Russ's point of view. Because if anyone knows Russ Johnson and what he talks about, I do understand to the best of my ability and with the help of my friends.
Well, I thought the way he's talking about today was a bunch of companies that got together to manipulate the system.
Well, that yes, but I would call it, let's say, the powers that be. It's virtually nearly, I meant some of the names that he mentioned I know about, and I actually told Steve this a little while ago that, about the names, because there are big companies that are, a lot of big companies are involved, let's call in the conspiracy theory, which I believe. Not everybody does. Not everybody is ready to understand this, but I would have loved to have spoken to him a little bit more, because the names that he gave were part of the bigger picture.
Well, I read once that these big companies that are pulling this wool over people's eyes, they want these alien conspiracies. They want any conspiracy that takes the shine off of them.
Well, as Aldo always used to say to me, divide and conquer. But the thing is, people that are coming out now, what I would call the whistleblowers, is absolutely what I believe is the truth, because many more people are coming out with this that have a lot to lose, even today, because of their stories and what they say. They're well-known people, but there are also very well-known people in the powers that be, let's call it. But more, it's breaking, I don't say it's breaking down, it's still there, but the secrecy behind it is breaking down a little bit because of the internet. Years ago, we didn't have that. But then again, you can't believe everything you see on the internet, right. AI. But they're very much watching what's going out on the internet. But truthfully, it's so big that they're probably laughing. Oh, they're getting a little taste of it. Now, it's not really necessarily something that I want to dwell into, but I have over the years certainly understood the best that I can to my own ability with the help of Aldo explaining, because I think it's important to know. But, you know, it's hush-hush.
Well, we just had, what is it, 12 missing scientists?
Yeah, I don't know how
that
many.
all of a sudden end up not living anymore, and they were all
but there's
involved.
so much behind it.
Are those guys really missing dead?
Yeah,
or were they
yes,
involved
but
with this alien stuff? Is it true?
It's in my world, and that's the only way I think that's a good way to discuss it. Yes, I totally 100% believe this, and many people that I talk to, including Russ, comes out with the same situation and circumstances of what these people do. I had not maybe mentioned it to him, and I have the same theory. I believe it. So how does even that come out? And I've said this before, what we've even talking about, if we haven't, but we both in agreement that these things are happening. So there has to be, well, to me, there's definitely, I mean, Aldo used to tell me a lot about this. It was hard to understand. But, you know, there are people going up, in answer to the scientists, there are more and more people coming out as whistleblowers to explain what's happening. And it's scary because people don't like to do this because they can end up dead. So that's
on the
really
conspiracy side.
Yeah, definitely.
So if tomorrow there's a huge news release, and extraterrestrials or extra intellectual beings, all this information is released, what do you think would surprise you more? The news of what it is or people's reactions?
I think I would, many people today are aware that there's something else. I think people's reactions to it. And I truly believe, and not every alien is good, I realize that, but the majority of aliens that will show themselves to us, and there may only be 3 or 4 different races, there are many more, are going to be doing that for our own good. But behind all that, they're up against the same thing that we're up against here on Earth. And they don't want it to come out because there's so many things when this starts to come out that the world will change if they can get their way in doing this. On the flip side, there are so many people, well, not many people on the people that oppose it. They're not, but they're very strong. They don't want this to come out. So there's always that battle. But to be fair, I'm going to be fair to both sides because I don't want to get into any trouble. But you have to have both sides because this is all about balance. So if everybody was all love and light, so to speak, and that everything is fine, which we've talked about, we wouldn't be going through a lot of the things that we're going through. And unfortunately, we're going through a lot right now, and people are taking notice, and the world is it's not happy world right now. But we've got to counteract that balance. We've got to, the ones that don't want us to have this. Oh, I think it's, my goodness, I can't see, but I think Russ is
Russ Johnson.
Wow, wow. Oh, that's just good because we've
Speaking
mentioned.
of the aliens.
Yeah, we were just talking about that. So they don't want us to know, but it's so much is coming out. Even the signs and the secrets and the symbols are coming out on these conspiracy theories that more and more people are looking to go into the internet and look things up, which can only be a good thing. But then again, they'll only have so much in the internet to look up because they're also in charge of a lot of the things that are going on that are on the internet.
But like, look at all the things, and I feel like this is a giant social experiment. They're looking down going, oh, we can tell you there's killer bees. We can tell you your lettuce is tainted. We can tell you, oh, it's not tainted. The blueberries are tainted.
Right.
Whatever it is, someone is manipulating people's minds.
Yes, 100%.
And it's a fear-mongering. Now, do we want anyone to get sick? No, of course not.
But we feed into the
But
fear,
look what just
including
happened.
myself right
they
now.
said
as well.
this one lettuce company had this positive outbreak. So everyone pulled all the lettuce from this one company. All their distributors, all the farmers, everything that went into this has now been pulled from the shelves. And then today, oh wait, we mistaken.
It's
It
not
was
the
not
lettuce.
positive. It's not the lettuce. But meanwhile, it's like going to a courtroom and you put out false information that the jury
Exactly.
hears and say, oh wait, we're going to retract it. All this money, all these farmers, all this produce has been thrown away. People have stopped buying it, throwing it away.
Exactly, but this
So
is...
what's going on?
Okay, this has been going on for years and years and years. I mean, we can even go back. I don't want to, because COVID is, people believe it, some people don't. But when you start to look into this and really see what's going on, you begin to say, well, how does it change so quickly? Suddenly everybody, this is a perfect example. There must be someone manipulating this because suddenly it's all changing. We can eat lettuce, that's a very good example. But the fear was there. Even for myself, I threw out my lettuce because I said, even if I don't eat it, if I eat it and it's okay, which I'm sure it probably was, I have in my mind, which they play with a lot, your mind, that maybe I'm going to get sick. But that's like I mean, there's nothing wrong with my lettuce, but on the other hand, there could have been. So they've been playing games like this from, for years and years and years.
So is it conspiracy or is it a method to sell product?
No, it's actually a little bit of
Here
both.
comes a hurricane, so all of a sudden every toilet paper in Boca is missing.
Well, yes, exactly, but they're playing games with us. And I'm sure some of the powers that be, which I'm going to call them, are laughing about it. I mean, we manipulate the stock market, actually. All these things, if you think about it, it goes up, it goes down. But that's part of what's happening right now, People are making a fortune, people are losing a fortune. Anything that they can manipulate, well, they can manipulate anything, actually. So that was wrongly
This is why the
said.
president calls some of the news people fake news.
Yeah.
Everybody talks about fake this, fake that. But that's the extreme to the other side. So if they tell you that you put bleach in your veins to get rid of COVID, all of a sudden, which is the fake news? That you covered it and he was trying to make a point? or people were actually injecting it.
Unfortunately, it's up to us to do the research and find out, because there's both sides to that story, Freddie. You know, if someone says something really way out,
Both sides, he said.
yeah, both sides to the story. Depending on where you are, I know where I'm at, and I know what I want to find out, and I go very much with my gut, and I feel that we're totally manipulated, not just a little bit, with everything, through the foods, even the weather, as you can agree with me too, Russ, is manipulation. It's to control us, and end of story. It's basically to keep us down here and not find out the truth. And I know you'll agree with me here too, with actually not just the weather, certainly, but electricity, for goodness sake. We have, and again, I'm happy that you're here because I sound crazy, we have free energy, but they don't want us to know. Why do they not want us to know? Because they're making billions isn't even enough of what they're making. But there's only a few. The ones that I may be talking about, which I don't like to say too much because people are going, well, is she nuts? I'm going to use that. But you won't know who they are.
Getting back to Dawn's question, you know, how would people react, you know, if all of a sudden there was a full disclosure? I think you have several different factions. One very big one probably are the doom and gloom people, who will think this is the end of the world when we have full disclosure. Then there's the people like Sally and Russ and the rest of us sitting here in this room that absolutely believe that aliens are here.
Well, I'm going to say we're lucky because we're ahead of the game. I can't see myself going crazy if I see aliens. I can see myself going up to one of them and say hello. I would love nothing better. But, you know, I've worked at this. Probably when I first heard about it, I'd say this is crazy, but over the years and what I've read, and I've done my research, which to anybody today, I think it's very important to do research because they will be here. Well, they're here anyway, but we don't know that for sure. They'll put little bits out, but I think everybody should do a little research. They owe themselves that so that they won't go crazy when they appear. They've been actually, and again, I keep looking at you, Russ, they've been here for years. They walk amongst us.
Yes, they walk amongst us.
They walk amongst us, absolutely. So I think shows like mine and like yours too, Russ, are very, you know, maybe just a smaller audience, but that doesn't matter because as long as you tell one person, that person tells somebody else. It's like the dominoes effect.
But then, Sally, is the conspiracy meant to wash down the reality of what it really is?
It's a little bit of both, and that's a very interesting question because even if you don't believe it, Freddie, and a lot of people don't, and I didn't in the beginning, they at least have heard about something. Because if something suddenly appeared and you'd heard nothing, you could die of a heart attack if something strange is in front of you and walking towards you. So even if it's in the back of their minds, the fact that it could be possible, by seeing someone, it has become possible in our minds. But there's a fine line there because we don't want everybody to suddenly go into shock and either die or their religious people are very, you know, that just doesn't exist. So they introduce it to us. They actually even introduce it to us, not just us doing that. If you look at a lot of the commercials today, you see them on aliens, right? We never saw that even up to 10 years ago. We didn't necessarily, we may have done, but more people are, let's say, fascinated by it today. And that's a good thing. That's definitely a good
being
thing.
able to have the conversation about it.
Absolutely.
It makes you a little bit uncomfortable having the conversation, and then somebody in the next booth listens to the conversation. They go, oh, that's just a conspiracy theory. So
that's all right. As long as you're having the conversation, people are entitled to their own opinion, and that's fine. And I understand that today. And I wanted to tell the world about what was happening. No, I can open someone's door slightly and say, you know, there is a possibility, or I always ask, actually, my question is, do you believe in previous lifetimes? Because I can get some idea of how much I might be able to say to that person. And the majority of people are saying yes to me, or they're very interested. Big difference from even 10 years ago. We're opening up much more. And the aliens know that too. They watch us. So they're going, you know, probably saying to themselves, maybe we can start introducing ourselves a little bit more. You know, they don't want everyone to suddenly freak out and panic, except the bad guys, and that's okay. there has to be that balance too.
Many people were like me prior to when we got together, who may have had an opinion, but it was on the back burner. But if people are fortunate enough to be in a circle of people that know everything about it or know a lot about the subject, and you're privileged to be taught that, my life has changed dramatically because of my belief system now.
Well, I'll give you a very good example of myself. I wrote a book and documented everything. I was drawing paintings of aliens with big eyes. It really hadn't sunk in completely. It's only over the years of me doing this and looking up, not so much here, but at home I've got the big eyes, you know that. I'm going, oh my gosh, I think I drew an alien, because it comes from my mind. So it takes a long time for your mind to understand a lot of this. So, but if you're introduced little by little, as Aldo would always say to me, I mean, he used to talk to me, but no more than what I could really, well, maybe I wasn't taking in, so he stopped, but what I could take in. And I'm writing it down, but he still only explained as much as I was able to understand. Today, I have such gratitude for the fact that I had someone explain all this to me, even if it wasn't comprehending it. But not even comprehending the fact that I could do all these little tiny lines and everything. I mean, someone has to be guiding me. I'm not saying it's necessarily aliens, but I was drawing things from previous lives. So they are amongst us, and for the ones that want to listen, and that's very important.
That's interesting. If you did not marry Sally, you were just friends, and she told you all this information, would you have bought? What are you laughing at? Would you have bought in?
Not as heavily as I bought in now.
So what was the difference that you got married?
Well, because I'm exposed to it on a daily basis.
Well, it's not me talking even of the
Right.
situations. It's not just me telling him. I don't have to, because we get so many synchronicities.
But you introduced it to him, so he gets to see it every day.
Well, I mean,
That's what he's saying. He's
Right,
not exposed to it
and,
every day.
We watch some things on the TV. We watch Elizabeth April from time to time. I even watch. And so it's
but
my whole world is opened up dramatically.
So
And that's-
exposure will actually help people understand better?
100% it's exposure is so important. And they play games with us too, because there are many movies out there where they interject certain things, and they're probably laughing, haha, they don't know what that is, but it's in that movie, because they control, especially the airways, they control this. So they will give you a little bit. I think they're having fun with it. The signs and symbols of what's going on. This is all behind conspiracy theories. People choose not to believe it. Some people do. It doesn't matter. It's where you are. I choose to believe most of the conspiracy theories that I hear.
Do you think they're studying humanity?
100%. Yes, absolutely. They have been, because we actually are an experiment here on Earth. And we're here. We have a lot of different types of DNA in us. And this is one of the few planets, which I see you nod your head for us is true, I believe it, that we have a lot, we are actually, but we don't know it, that we are capable of doing so much. We only use a tiny bit, you think about it, of our brain, our mind. There is so much more there, so much more. And there are certain people that have come to the planet that have gotten, and I'm going to use Jesus, for example, who I believe, and I mean, I don't want to get too much into this because he's Jesus, but he knew what he was trying to tell us, even walking on water. Can we do that? I'm not relating to Jesus that I can do that, definitely. But I believe if you believe it, you can. And you've got to believe it. You've got to believe it. There is nothing that we can't do. That they brought a lot. We are made up with a lot of different DNAs. But if you have more of a DNA, that's going to be more prominent.
Well, I always ask the question, why is there a male species and a female species?
Well, I guess to have babies.
Well, I don't think so, because there are species that are
That's
singular,
true too,
that,
yes.
that give birth.
Somewhere
along the line, something happened.
Yeah, but then again, we're male in one life, we can be female in the next, so we intertwine with that
See,
too.
now you're getting really complicated. 'Cause
No,
I
when
hate
we
to
come
see
back,
Steve in the
well,
dress.
absolutely. I've been, maybe my prominent person is a female, but I know that I've been a male in many lifetimes because he's my reference point because he told me so much. And we fought. He told me that I cut his head off. I mean, do I want to believe that? Not necessarily, but I believe that I could have done in that particular lifetime of who I was. And the funny, to bring into some laughter in this, if we ever got into an argument when he was teaching me, I would say, and he'd say, well, you cut my head off, stop it. And I'll say, I didn't remember. So it could be funny too. I don't remember cutting his head off.
Just to clarify, though,
She did not.
Just to clarify, Sally, you've been female the whole time I know you, right?
Yes,
Thank
we
you.
don't
Okay.
change. Well, we can. It's our choice if we want to change
Do
it.
you know
or
your
not.
past life?
I know
Were
several.
you
of them.
always a female?
No, I was
You
not.
were a
because
male?
I was a male.
Did you have a beard?
Why, can you see me as a male?
Yeah.
Probably, yes. Everybody didn't have razors in those days.
With a beard?
Oh, yeah.
Smokes.
Yeah, no, everybody intertwined. You may have a prominent, like a female or a male, but I totally get that. I can understand that because we're here to learn, basically. We are here to learn. And as we go on and we come in or we're learning more, actually, if it's any comfort to anyone, if you've got a really difficult life, it's what you chose because you're learning more. I mean, not everybody wants to hear that,
Want
but
to
I
take
do believe that. Right?
Commercial break.
Yeah, we're taking a... Okay, I'll see you back in a few minutes on the other side of this show.
A true story, Call Me Zena, is the telling of Sally Bernard. Born in London, England at the end of the Second World War, she came into the U.S. in 1979. A mother of 2 and a grandmother of 4, she settled in Florida and worked in real estate. While going through a difficult time in her life, she was admitted into a hospital overnight in December of 2005. While settling back into her life, she began having vivid dreams and documenting them. By the 3rd dream, a lady gave her a message to draw. With no artistic background or interest into art or history, Sally listened to her dreams and grabbed a paper and crayons. Today, she has over 150 pieces of inspiring art and poetry. This book follows her journey and interpretations of these messages. She describes in detail how she is able to astral a project and who she has met along her travels, including her spirit guides. This book will show you how anything is possible with an open mind. These events have changed Sally's life and direction, and this book will show you how to change yours. Purchase Call Me Zena on Amazon today, authorhouse.com and amazon.com.
Thank you for joining me through this journey of self-discovery with the help of my spirit guides. I'm Sally Bernard, and you can find my book at authorhouse and amazon.com or visit my art on my clothing in my boutique at artbysallybernard.com. Now back to the show. Okay, welcome back to my show. Okay, let's open it up to the audience again with conspiracy theories, if that's what you want.
Yeah, Russ, why don't you grab Freddie's mic that he left on the chair?
Okay, we're still taking a little break. We'll be back in a second. Okay, all righty. So,
Yeah, Sally,
you-
you're
yeah.
doing a great job.
Thank you.
Yeah, I promise
Thank
you, you're doing a great job.
Thank you.
Where do you see the future in terms of the law of one and Jesus' ministry and all that? Where do you see all that going?
I'm not, what I would like to happen,
Mm-hmm.
Russ, is what you do, and you do the research and talk about it. And I think the more people that have an open mind, we have a chance in understanding this. Unfortunately, so many people are still because we've been trained to not believe this. So we've
Right.
got to change people's minds and looking a different way, which I know that you relate to too. That anything can be possible. You don't have to believe it.
Sure.
But you just
All
need
things
that
are possible.
open mind that we're here and we're controlled. We're here to help the world. And that's primarily of
Right.
great importance because there will be no world. Well, I know more. We can go into that where there's another world, but I'm not going to go into
Sure,
all that.
sure, many worlds.
And we may not even remember. But however, it's important that we save what we have right now for right now. It's very important. So my
Right.
job is to just open people's minds up the best I can. I love...
Well, you've been doing it consistently for the last 3 or 4 years. And
Yes, I have.
congratulations.
Yes,
That's
I have.
great. Fred, you want this? Okay. David Wilcock just passed. Do you think, in a couple of days before he passed, you know, David Lee Roth,
Yes, of
Corey
course I
Good,
know.
and all the boys. They still taking them out then?
Yes, because
Well,
they,
how come how come they leave you alone?
how come they what?
Leave you alone.
Because I'm probably not such a threat as he was, actually. At my age, they're probably laughing at me. Let her talk about us. I don't have any fear, but I don't want to leave just yet because I'd like to pass this
Sure.
word on to the younger generation. And I think it's very important. I don't have any fear. I'm
I got
fine.
you.
I'm
I
fine.
got you.
I mean, I may sound silly if I talk too much about it because people say this is unbelievable, it can't be true. But I'd like to get the word out for sure.
Yeah.
So what's it going to take to get the word out? What's it going to take for there to
It's
be
out.
more believers than not?
Well, doing what we're doing right here, because
Yeah.
although it may only be a small audience, it doesn't matter. If you just tell one person, that one person may tell somebody else, and then it's like we all have an effect. It'll
Dominoes.
the dominoes effect. I'm not quite there.
Yeah, I'll
Okay.
make a prediction. Within 12 months, there will be thousands upon thousands, hundreds of thousands of podcasts.
I think so
it's
because
gonna
more and more
explode.
people are
Yeah, it's
beginning
gonna
to understand it.
explode. Yeah.
Like, for instance, when I first heard all this, it wasn't my time to start talking because I really didn't. I knew it, as Aldo had told me, it was dormant. It was suddenly came alive in me that I wanted to tell the world. Well, we can't really do it like that. We have to do it little by little. And that little by little to someone else that you've spoken to, in the back of their mind, they're going to say, you know what, you just brought something up, and they'll talk more. And that's how we can show the world that there is, we're controlled, basically.
Oh, yeah, but this is the Truman Show for
Yep,
those people
yeah.
who
And they put,
haven't-
well, they
haven't
put
seen-
out.
I've been saying that
Russ,
for days.
if
No,
you-
it's true.
Yeah,
This is a prison planet. This is a matrix.
100%.
And what you see is not really real. It's all in your imagination. But
Yeah.
that's another story.
And you know what? My grandson, he may be listening there. Or no, he actually said to me some of the things that I talk about, and I was so happy to hear that because
Right.
he does, in his world, it's illusion and you know all that's going on here. I mean, how much he knows, I don't know, but I can only, you know, you have to be even with people that understand. If you go too far, they're going to stop listening. So maybe it wasn't their time, and I understand that too, but I certainly feel that I can speak to him about this.
Yeah.
It's important for the younger generation, anyone from that younger generation.
Sal, if you could ask an extra being of light a question, any question,
Wow.
what would it be?
Why in the world did they come down here in the first place? But since they're here,
Well, they
that's
made us.
No, I'm just joking. I mean, they're taking a look at, that's maybe why they've taken so long. I go, who wants to come to this planet?
they made
What
us.
would I ask? What just?
I would. How about source? Ask them who's the source. How can
Yes,
they
and where they came from, and where is their home, and we're very happy that they're here to show themselves. But they have been walking amongst us for a long, long time.
So they're in some sort of human form.
Yes, the ones that I believe that will show themselves first are probably, if they see a humanoid, they're not going to be like a little ant person, because they do exist too, because it's going to be harder for us to accept that. So they're going to come to the, well, there are people here that they call that shapeshift, and they're the ones that maybe we don't necessarily want to hear from, but it's very, that's the ones that have been able to manifest themselves here because they can change their appearance. But
What
most
about sea life, like an octopus?
Oh, yeah. I heard about that the other day, actually. The octopus is very interesting. I don't know too much unless they want to tell me, but that's from another planet, I believe, the octopus. That's what they just actually told me.
I
The
feel like
octopus
it
is
is.
from another planet, yes, absolutely. There are many, I mean, there are a lot of sea life. I would say the whales and the dolphins, they're all connected to us. They just show themselves in a different form, and I'm getting goosebumps as I'm saying that because I think it's very feasible. That's true. But there's a whole world underneath us here, as we would call world. There's civilization way down here, and they came and they went down into another world that exists. Let's call it a world, because it was they needed to escape from here. So some went up and some went down, which I know you know the story too.
Yeah.
It's so good to have you here because I don't feel like I'm talking. I know.
No, you're doing a great job.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Do you think the Beatles had aliens in mind when they wrote the song Octopus's Garden?
Oh, I never thought of that. That's very true. Yeah, possibly. Yeah, possibly. I can't answer for the Beatles, but I believe that John Lennon was definitely very well aware. Look, unfortunately happened to him. Thank you. That was interesting.
Okay. I'll take a nap now.
Okay.
Do you know anything about the Bermuda Triangle, where they missing
Bermuda
planes
Triangle?
and all that stuff? Do you
Yeah,
know anything?
there are still obviously remnants in the Bermuda. So that, I mean, we see it, Russ, in front of us. How many planes have gone over
Yeah.
there? How many planes have been
And
missing?
ships, yeah.
Does it have to be that people don't understand and they're taking them because they have still got many of the what we would call the technology is still alive and working from thousands and thousands of years. But most people will say, oh no, well the plane, I don't mean this wrongly because probably I also said the same. Well, we just lost a plane, we can't find it anywhere. Come on. How can you not find a plane unless there's something more to it? That where was it? From Malaysia? That never appeared.
Right.
So, and on it
So
goes.
when you come back again, after you leave this time, what do you want to do? Do you think you want to come back or go somewhere else in the universe?
Well, I feel that I've come so far here that I want to, I'm remembering a lot, and I want to come, maybe, I would like to go somewhere else, a little less difficult, but having gone this far, I think I'm going to have to continue my journey.
Okay.
Would that necessarily be my choice? Maybe not, but I think I owe that to
But it is your
mankind.
choice when you go over it and they
Yeah,
sit you down.
I think so, because I believe I have been here. I've come from another planet, and I know the planet that I come from. But I think we need help here. We need as many people, and the kids, the babies coming in today, understand a lot. And luckily, or not luckily, but thank goodness the parents are now becoming in tune with maybe some of the things that they may be talking about, because we've always had imaginary friends as children. Most children have, but the parents used to say, oh, enough of that now. But today they're a little much more accepting of that. So maybe I'd like to continue that.
So here's an interesting question. Do you suppose when and if Aldo comes back again, he'll find a way to find you?
Well, he was in Peru and I was in London, so I'm sure he'll do that again. I always wanted to, the strange thing about this, I always wanted to come to this country from a child, so I believe we'd had that conversation. But I don't know. I mean, that's really hypothetical if I say yes. I mean, I'm learning a lot, which obviously he's happy about, because he certainly was my teacher for 20 years, because I'm meeting all the people that understand this, and Russ, and even the studio with Dawn and Freddie. You know, how did I find you guys? How did I come in and was able to talk about something that I never thought that I was going to put on the air? And, you know, it was only 3.5 years ago, only. I mean, I've done what I'm wanting to do. When I first walked in here, I didn't even want to come in here, you know that. So.
And there are no accidents, so
No, absolutely.
Have you told people that many of the entities, the 9 billion entities on the world, have come from somewhere else in the galaxy to here?
Yeah, I tell people that.
Right,
And I
right.
actually did something when I was first learning about this, and I was still selling, and I had customers in front of me, and we were going on a tour, and they were working for NASA, actually. So I'm ready. I won't even mention the planet. Oh, I know all about the planet M, you know what I'm... and because it still rings in my mind, we don't know anything about that. Do not talk about that. So I'm going, why? It doesn't exist. I'm going, what do you mean it doesn't exist? I know people from there. No, I don't personally know them, but I know they're here. And they go, no, please don't talk about that. So I stopped. I didn't know it didn't exist.
Probably didn't make the sale either, did you?
Huh?
Probably didn't even make the sale.
Not that one, but then I met someone afterwards that was my customer that knew everything about this, and I started showing them my sketches, because I was sketching all from many, many centuries ago, not my artwork today, but of the signs and symbols that they left behind. I didn't know that was what I was sketching.
Aldo was from Peru.
He was from Peru.
He was part of the establishment,
Absolutely.
the government.
At one time, yes.
Well,
100%.
do you know, in the last, a lady is going to be president for the first time in the history of Peru, and she's going to be sworn in on the 28th of this month. Did you know that?
I didn't, but I'm
Yeah.
sure that Aldo knew even wherever he is, because I knew who he was in another lifetime. Yeah.
Yeah.
But, you know, even that was hard for me to understand. You have to have a certain I'm not going to say background, but some knowledge of what's going on to even let this so that you can comprehend it. I can today because I believe anything is possible. So that's good. That was showing. He is alive. He's not alive, but he's not here to see it. But he probably definitely knows. I'm sure. Yeah. This is getting into very interesting. Another conspiracy theory question.
There's so many things. Even under the pyramids, we heard so much about it for so long in Egypt.
Right.
Why'd the conversation stop?
Because we may be getting nearer the truth. See, what actually happens, and I know that you'll agree with me, they put out a certain amount, correct? But only when you start uncovering and you go a little bit further, stopped. It's in movies, it's everywhere. But if you're beginning to understand it, I hope no one's listening. That should, no, they're not going to listen to here, okay? But you start questioning it and dwelling a little bit, deeper into what really is going on, then they probably, I'm not saying they actually physically do anything, but they do. But hopefully, you know what, I'm talking about it, so what? It doesn't matter. It's okay.
That's another interesting thing. Doing what you do and knowing what you know, do you ever get these frightening pangs that somebody's going to walk in that door that doesn't want you to be doing this?
No, I'm not scared. And I question myself, why am I not scared? Not too much frightens me, because I think that takes away a lot of your spirituality once you get to that point and you get scared, because then you're closing your mind. I don't care. I've learned a lot. I mean, and I want to continue learning, and I want to be here a little bit longer to pass this on, but I'm not really scared. That's a silly thing to say, right?
No.
Okay.
No, it's fantastic.
I've always said that.
Means
You're looking at me very strangely.
Funny. Fred, do you have a question?
No, I'm just saying that. I'm just saying that for you to come forward now, you have to be brave and endure what other people are going to be saying. But the funny thing is that I remember when we first met you, there was no Steve. He wasn't here. And then when you have the gallery that's full of people, so it went from just you to a whole bunch of other people.
That's right.
Now it's not only done on Mondays, it's done on Tuesdays with some other people. It's done on Wednesdays. It's done now with Russ again on Thursdays. And with Sylvia on Fridays. So we went from you and one person to doing this now 5 days a week in different objectives.
So she started a movement.
So
Exactly.
yeah, because it's what they would call the law of attraction. And Steve said something interesting the other day to me about how do so many people know about this? No, not so many people know about it. The people that do know are making them known here in the studio. I said it's because you get in, it's like with a certain crowd of people, and suddenly what I would like to do is branch out to people that don't necessarily know, so that they can also form the same as what we're doing here in the studio. I believe this was all, I'm going to say, meant to happen, what's happened in the studio, because there's no real other explanation that they all should arrive that understand what I'm talking about.
But there's more people than just the studio. People actually are going outside the studio.
Yes, they are, because
some of the people that even Russ is bringing into his show, some of the stories that they're bringing. Some of the people that when we go out and they know about your show, and they go, oh, you're on that show, and they start talking about it. So there's more than just in studio. The question for me that I've always thought that it was, is that nobody was brave enough to talk about it.
Well, that's also true. And, you have to, I'm not going to say confidence in yourself, but I'm going to swear, I don't really give a damn at this point in my life. It doesn't matter to me. And if I can help somebody else understand, I would love to have questions from people that are open, as long as they're open-minded, because if they don't, I sound crazy. But my purpose, I feel and I will say this on the air, and Russ is too, because I've actually met someone older than me, but you get a drive. It's like you want to pass this on. You don't have to, but you just want people to know, but you want the right people to know, not the people that have no interest, because you're basically wasting your energy. So you can have just a little bit of interest, I will tell them something.
I really believe, Sally, that you came to this planet at this particular time to participate in disclosure. Before you came to this planet.
Oh, yeah.
You decided to come to this planet.
That's right.
For this particular time. And
As
then-
many people have for us.
Right.
They're coming in for the, and as you certainly, you
Right.
know that. Because we know this planet is in transition. It's going through a shift right now. And more people, and to say there's a lineup of people wanting to come in, people don't probably understand that, but I do believe that they're putting their hands up, let's go to Earth, we need to tell them.
And all of them
save
can't come.
Yeah, they can't come in.
Yeah.
So it's really a blessing. We gave ourselves a blessing to be
but
able
everybody who's born at this time,
Yeah.
it's really a blessing because many
right.
other entities in far corners of the galaxies
That's right.
cannot come. The Galactic Command won't let them come.
That's right.
But they let us
They
come.
let us in.
They let us in.
So
Yeah.
if to
So here
suddenly
you are.
stop doing, or you too, at the latter because I'm getting older, no, age has nothing to do with this. I used to actually mention that. I mention Aldo a lot because he was my teacher. He said, whatever you learn, or what was dormant, because he believed all this was dormant in me, I knew it
Sure,
from another
sure.
lifetime,
Yeah.
you will never lose that. So even if I, let's say, spoke another language right now, it's somewhere in my subconscious mind, as he used to say, superconscious, or your higher self. So even at this time in my life, I want to learn more, to pass on more to someone.
And that was Aldo's wish in his dying days, that you continue to
Be his mouthpiece.
Be his
yeah,
mouthpiece.
yes.
Outside of being a spokesperson for all of the disclosure, in your lifetime, you've been in sales and all that stuff. That people know that?
No, not really.
But you
'cause-
should tell them. You were just
well,
an
I
ordinary...
think part of my experience in sales when I was 20-something years, and I obviously I was doing well because I wouldn't have stayed 20 years in that, was to show me that I could do this. Because sales is not easy, especially what I was selling. People didn't want to buy because it was a product that you had to sell the same day. But I don't regret any of that because it was training to win somebody over in a different way because I believed in my product. I could not have sold it if I didn't, just like I believe in what I'm talking about here. And I will pass that knowledge on. I can't start talking about what I used to sell because it doesn't gel with what I'm saying right now. But both ways has helped me to be able to present, what I have to say. I'm surprised in myself because I said to you the other day, I could go out and talk with a whole crowd of people in an audience. I'm not saying thousands, but however many people showed up, I would have no fear in doing that. And
When we first met you, we didn't meet you under that whole thing.
right,
It was something completely different.
yeah.
And then I remember Steve was in studio when you introduced the subject, and he was sitting here. I'll never forget the look on his face. And I went to him and says, "Did you know this?" He says, "Absolutely not." So you've changed.
Well, I feel, and I can only go by what Aldo, and I believe he told me everything that I should know. He told me that what I knew and what I'm talking about was dormant I feel like there's somebody over there, was dormant, and I brought it out. I might have the last lifetime that I had, according to what Aldo knew, is that I didn't. I had had enough as who I was in the 15th century that I knew all this, but I wanted a life without any of bringing this up. He told me that I had chosen this lifetime to come and, to talk about it.
So what was the purpose of Steve coming at this lifetime, at this time?
I have no answer. No,
I think
it's
you
just, I'm kidding.
I think you made a non-knower, a non-believer to
Yeah,
a believer.
I just had to come out with that. Yes, absolutely, because, I don't know who may have been in his life or what would have happened if I hadn't shown up, but I think that there has to have been a reason because we had met each other before I actually came out with all this. I didn't know this when we were working together. I wasn't, in my second job when I came to Orlando at that point, then because Aldo came into my life to open me up. But I still knew him. So I believe he chose this time too to also wake himself up.
The first time we met was 26 years ago, and you weren't even into what you know now. But the second time, 14 years ago, I wasn't ready yet, and so we didn't.
We parted ways.
Yeah, But when we met again, I'd been through a lot and was ready to listen.
I don't believe anything to really understand this. I think that synchronicity exists. I believe most of the coincidences are synchronicity, and we may not know that. I mean, if you just bump into someone, I believe that we can go as far as that could have been planned too. It may not amount to anything, but nobody comes into your life without a purpose. You don't have to stay friendly with them. You may just be hello, but they may be ready, and I wasn't ready to talk to that person. We had a very good example. Shall I give what we were telling my grandson the other day about Duval Street?
Sure.
This was a perfect example because we had just got engaged. And if people know in Key West, Duval Street, we were walking down a very, very busy street at that time. And we'd just got engaged, and we saw a couple, I believe, in front of us, okay, that they started to kiss each other. So we said, oh, well, let's kind of do the same thing. And absolutely what happened is this couple from nowhere in a crowded street comes over to us. This was his first introduction to this, I believe. And she starts to talk to us, the lady. But what is she talking about? All that I'm thinking and doing and talking was all about this. And Steve's going, how does that happen in a busy street? Just because we kind of kissed and they did. It went one step further. It didn't stop there. We actually told them we had to go, that night we told them where we were going for dinner, I think the following night. Guess what? That couple was going to the same dinner place with the reservations exactly the same time. And there were hundreds of people in Key West.
Meeting on the street.
And it got Steve to, it was there. Maybe not so much for me, but for you to say, how did that happen? And then after that, so many things happened. So he has to have been ready.
Interesting.
Yeah, that was amazing. We were going to keep in contact, but we all have busy lives, so I
Probably
hadn't.
meet her again in another
Lifetime. That wasn't a chance meeting. How could that possibly? If we had not connected, we might have connected in the restaurant, the following day. Because it was there's hundreds of restaurants in Key West. Why were we going to the same? And we saw them the following day in the restaurant because their reservation was the same time as us. Well, it's just one of many, many, many.
What would you tell people to do as you close the show? What would you tell the average person to do?
Well, basically, have an open mind and believe. Be open to whatever you hear, regarding to wake up, actually, and then talk to other people, do research on what you feel that you're wanting to understand, because I think we all understand different things at different levels on this journey. But basically, believe it. Believe that anything is possible, and try as best you can in a very negative world to bring happiness, peace, and be positive.
Here.
Yeah, so I think maybe, do we have one more question? Or?
We can do one more question.
Thank you.
All right. If time travel became possible, which it is for you, would you go to the past or the future?
Oh, I love that question. I would probably go to, I don't really have an answer to that. I'd like to go to both. I'd certainly like to go back in time, which is still existing, by the way, and so is the future still existing. A little bit of both.
How about you, Steve?
Well, it's funny that you mentioned time travel. We started watching a series. I don't remember the name of the series, and we didn't watch it for very long, but it dealt with time travel. And I would love to travel to a different time.
Past or future?
Past or future?
Past.
How about
If I
how
can-
about you?
if-
Sorry.
Me, I don't know. I'm afraid if I traveled
No,
to the
'cause
future, I would know what was going to happen. But the past, I kind of want to relive again.
Okay.
A little both.
Right.
We'll
And
do us.
I don't know that you're supposed to change anything if
Right.
you go
No.
to the past, but I would hope that I could change just certain things the way that I purported myself during the early part of my life.
Okay. I think we can change ourselves, but I also had discussed this with Aldo because he talked to me about this a bit. You can go, because it's still going on, but if someone actually passes in that lifetime, you can't stop that from happening because that's their choice. But you can meet people, places, and things and change situations for yourself.
I would change everything. I would go to the future and change everything as much as I can. Because the way it is right now, it ain't working too
It's
good.
not.
How about you, Russell?
Right, yeah, I was just going to ask him, what would you do?
I never thought about it.
You asked the question.
Well, I would continue to do what I do.
Yeah.
I was born to be
Yeah.
a broadcaster. I was
And
born
certainly
to
second that.
participate in this disclosure, and abducted and all that stuff. So anyway, thanks, Sally, for having me on.
I guess you're more than welcome. And thank you, everybody, for listening. Some things are a little strange, so I'm going to say what Elizabeth April does. Take with it if you want it, and if you don't, that's okay too. I learned that from her because I think that's really good, and she's amazing. Okay, bye-bye, everybody. I'll see you next week.
Great show.
Thank you. You have been watching Call Me Zena with your host, Sally Bernard. As an artist, author, and spiritual experiencer, know that you can always seek me out for resources by visiting artbysallybernard.com. Join us next week, Mondays at 2:30. Have a blessed day.